Hello, my beautiful people. Today is Monday, November 14th, 2022. Is it okay if I do some recording? Huh? Okay, good. So, Friends case, this will be on your final exam. It's gonna be there, okay? So here, I should have brought my my thing so I could. Okay, so NBC for the 1994, 1995, 1996 television seasons had its show Friends placed consistently among the top 10 television programs as measured by the Nielsen ratings. The show has an ensemble cast of 6 Generation X friends who live in New York City. What do you know about the show? What do you know? That they what? Have 6 Generation friends, and it's what?
Takes place.
A top show, right? A top, what's that?
Takes place in New York City.
Takes place in New York, right? And it's a top show, right? In addition to the revenues from the advertising on the popular show, NBC had significant profits from brisk sales of Friends merchandise, including hats, shirts, and mugs. Now, just prior to the August 12, 1996 start of production for the show for the 1996-1997 season, the 6 cast members demanded raises from their contract salaries of $40,000 per episode to $100,000. The stars of the show also demanded a what? Percentage of the profits from the show and any what? Affiliated sales and contracts. The 6 actors indicated that they would not report for the start of filming if their demands for a raise were not met. Check this line out. None of the 6 had expired contracts. What's that mean? What's it mean that none of the 6 had expired contracts?
Still under contract.
They were all under contract. They all had valid contracts, right? Each and every one of them had valid contracts, right? Their $40,000 per episode salary was to continue at least through 1997. What is it? Just prior to August 12th, 1996, they said, you know what? We're not gonna show up, right? Now, what do you call what they did? What do you call that?
Breach of contract.
Yes, an anticipatory breach, actually, okay? Now, you will get into more of that when we do chapter 19, okay? All right, you're up to 18 now, but I'm doing this to make a point what's in our chapter in 18 right now. NBC had just signed an agreement to sell the Friends episodes into syndication beginning in 1998. This syndication deal required NBC to turn over 4 seasons of episodes, and it was reported NBC received $40 million for the sale of the syndication rights. So they have a deal, right? To make more episodes, right? And the Friends cast is saying what? We're not going to do what? We're not going to show up unless you give us what? $100,000 per episode and percentage of profit, right? Now look, man, $40,000 per episode? I'm happy with that. I'd be like, what? Oh man, $40,000 per episode? Oh man, that's good. Every time we step on the set, $40,000, $40,000, $40,000. However, what about Hollywood? What about Hollywood? What do you know about Hollywood? Yes, sir.
A lot of their profits most likely get taken by agents, other people.
Well, yeah, okay, you know that happens too. And your popularity may be what?
Leading high.
Right. You might be popular today, not as popular tomorrow, right? Never like that. So they're like, hey, we have a hit show. Let's make some money off of this. So they breached their contract, right? They violated their contract, right? By saying what? We're not going to show up unless you do what? Show me the who?
Money.
Show me the money, right? Show me the money, right? And so NBC has a problem. What's their problem? They have what? A deal for what? My wonderful people? What's the deal? They just signed an agreement to sell the Friends episodes in syndication beginning in 1998. This syndication deal required NBC to turn over 4 seasons of episodes, and it was reported that NBC received $40 million for the sale of syndication rights. So they've got a deal to do what? Make some more money, right? And they have their cast members saying what? We won't act unless you do what?
Give us more money.
From $40,000 to $100,000 and a percentage of profits. Next when production began for the 1996-1997 season, all the members of the Friends cast did report for the work. The stars were awarded their $100,000 contracts shortly after. So when production began for the 1996-1997 season, all the members of the Friends cast did report for work. Okay, they showed up, right? The stars were awarded their $100,000 contracts shortly thereafter. You see I've written down here, who blinked? Who blinked? You have to follow this. You have to be in class. You have to follow this. Who blinked the first time? This first time is going to blink. There are going to be other blinks too. Okay? Later on as we go through this. You need to know this for your final test. You need to know this. Okay? Who blinked the first time?
The cast.
Who blinked? Anybody? Who blinked? Who got what they wanted? So therefore, who blinked?
NBC.
NBC. The answer is NBC, not CBS, not CNN, not MSNBC. The answer is NBC. What other stations do I get sometimes? Well, the answer is NBC. That's the answer, right? They blink first. Why they blink? Why, beautiful people? Why they blink? My wonderful people? Why?
Because they changed the contract.
They didn't want to, when it was so popular, why would they?
What do they have going on over here? What's this? The $40 million? And what?
They need to keep making episodes.
Oh, they need to keep making episodes.
They
So
need the cast to do so.
thank you. So it's cheaper to what? Pay them,
Yeah.
right? Now, what do you call what NBC did? What do you call that? We know that they breached their contract, right? They breached it. They're in violation of the contract because they wanted what? More money, more money. But NBC did what? We're talking about right there in the chapter. I just got to finish reading it. They waived it, right? They forgave them, right? They forgave them. But since I'm on a roll here, let me keep going a little bit more. And you'll find out down here, it's anticipatory repudiation by conduct. Anticipatory repudiation may be expressed by conduct that makes it impossible for the repudiating party to perform subsequently. Illustrate there is repudiation by conduct. The farmer makes a contract to sell an identified quantity of potatoes and then sells and delivers them to another buyer before the date specified for the delivery to the first buyer. Okay. Here's a question. Was it fair? Was it fair for the stars to threaten to strike unless their demands for higher compensation were met? What do you think? No. Suppose that NBC signed new contracts with the 6 stars agreeing to all their demands. Would the contracts be enforceable? What defenses could be raised? Do you believe contracts negotiate for the higher salaries of the cast members are supported by consideration? Oh, interesting question, huh? Why or why not? Let's go to the next question. If the acts had failed to report for filming on August 12, 1996, would their conduct constitute a breach of contract? What's the answer? Yes. What damage would NBC experience if the stars failed to report for filming? Well, they experienced damages for that year, right? And then, depending upon how long the contracts are that this cast have, they might lose money for that $40 million, right? Here's the next one. And there's more to this. There's a second part, okay? Which I'll get to once you've read chapter 19. In 2000, the cast of Friends once again demanded a pay raise. The demand was again made with a valid contract in place, but just hours before NBC was to announce its fall lineup, the 6 stars demanded how much money? Oh, $1 million? $1 million each per episode? So every time they step on the stage to do an episode, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million. Are you with me? All right. This used to be in the textbook, okay? For these chapters. Or the last chapter is a good example. That I like to use it still. NBC settled for $750,000 per star, up for the stars, $150,000 per episode figure, negotiated in 1998. What happened? Sometimes students miss this. What happened in 1998? What happened, my wonderful people?
They went up 50,000.
Thank you, sir. In 1998, They renegotiated the $100,000, right? And now they're making what? $150,000. Okay? Right there. Up for the Stars, $150,000 per episode figure. All this on Blackboard, okay? Now, the total cost for the salaries is $40 million per season. The show is now the most expensive show on television. NBC did insist on a 4-year contract from each of the stars. When Jay Leno was asked about the tactics of the Friends stars, he responded, "You have to get what you can while you can in this business." Is Mr. Leno right? Is such an attitude ethical? What do you think? Is it ethical? No. Is it right?
No.
But you're here today, gone today? Huh? Here today, you want to stay? Well, I have your attention here. Let's see if I can, that was Friends, right? Let me do part 2. All right. Oh, let me see, how do I make that go over a little bit? Oops, let me see, I need to make, I need to make this a little smaller.
Hit the control button, and then use the wheel on the mouse towards you.
Oh, I see. Oh, thank you. There we go. There we go, my beautiful people. My market people. Thank you. So, let me just read this for you. In 2000, the cast of Friends, one of the hottest shows on, see how I gave you the first one? So in another edition of the book, remember I've been teaching for 25 years, right? So I know the book back and forward. In the next edition, I forgot which one I get this one from, they took out the first part. But it's important to understand the first part to understand this part, okay? So, in 2000, the cast of Friends, one of the hottest shows on television, demanded a pay increase. Demand was made with a valid contract in place, and near the time NBC was announced its fall lineup. The 6 stars demanded $1 million each per episode. NBC settled for $750,000 per star, up from the stars' $150,000 per episode figure renegotiated in 1998. Now, here's a question we're going to answer later on. When stars seek to renegotiate contracts before their expiration, the network can replace them if they fail to live up to their contracts. And it can enforce a standard contractual clause which prohibits them from doing other television work until expiration of the contracts. Now, let me ask this question. Why didn't you just fire all the stars? Huh?
They're the ones making the money.
They made the brand.
They're the brand, right? And the public wants to see what? Those stars, right? They don't want to see new people. Although there are some shows that have replaced people, right? Past, and sometimes it does well, sometimes not so well, right? And like that. Recasting 6 stars for a highly successful show would not be feasible. To offset the stars' bargaining power, NBC prepared a television promotion that would relabel the last show for that season as a series finale and announce, "See how it all ends on Friends." What did NBC do this time? What did the business people at NBC do?
They canceled the show.
Oh, they say that we're going to end the show, right? They threatened to do what? They threatened to cancel the show, right? Relabel the last show for that season as series finale and announce, "See how it all ends on Friends." The cast were informed of NBC's threat to end the series in this manner. What happened after that? What happened? Renegotiations, huh? They went, right? Renegotiations, okay, quickly ensued and led to the $750,000 agreement. And then 2 years later, the 6 stars obtained their goal of $1 million per episode paychecks. Every time they had one episode, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million. Okay? Was it ethical for the Stars to threaten to strike just before the fall lineup announcement? Oh, I forgot to ask. Who blinked this time? The second time. Who blinked?
Cast,
The cast blinked. How come?
because they didn't want their show to be canceled.
They didn't want their show to be canceled. Okay?
They didn't want the money to stop.
That's it. So they're like, uh-oh, we better take the $750,000. Okay? But then 2 years later, they got their million, right? I never liked that. Was it ethical for the Stars to threaten to strike just before the fall lineup announcement? You think that's ethical to do that? Or, hey, you got to make some money this way because, you know, NBC has all the power. Huh? Or do you keep your word with respect to your contract, right? That's ethical, right? When Jay Leno was asked about the tactics of Friends Stars, he responded, "You have to get what you can while you can in this business." Is Mr. Leno right? Is such an attitude ethical? When the new agreement was reached, was there a mutual rescission of the existing contract and the substitution of a new contract, or did the new contract fail for lack of consideration? And as you read chapter 19, you'll find out and come see what those answers are. Any questions? This part. Interesting, huh? Very, very interesting. So, this is part one of the lecture on Friends.